He is a guy who I really love listening to when he calls games on Fox. He is a multiple Super Bowl champion in his days with the Denver Broncos. Back here on the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone lines for a few minutes, Mark Schlereth. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing great, Rich. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. I give you the floor. What'd you think of what happened at the end of the game last night, Mark Schlereth?
Oh, well, I mean, first off, that was about as poorly managed at the end of that game as you could manage it. Now, you made a catch on on 3rd and 13 or 3rd and 14. You got yourself to 4th and 5. You went down. The running back Jamal Williams went down with 1:01 left. And you let all that time tick off the clock. Now, here's what I don't understand. Call a timeout and let's discuss what we're doing. But you let it run down to, 20 seconds before you took your timeout. So clearly you already had decided you were going to kick a field goal from 64 yards out. But here's the deal. If you take a timeout with a minute left, even if you miss the field goal, you're still losing the game, right? So why wouldn't you want to have that discussion? Why would you not want to let your quarterback that you just paid $250 million to at least try to convert that? The NFL lifetime from 64 yards is 2 of 41. I mean, you're not kicking your pregame on one of those little tees. You see the kickers. There's a snap, there's a hold, there's a whole operation there. There's a pass rush. You have to drive the ball, but you have to be high enough to get it over the line. The odds are so much better of converting on 4th down and 5 than they are, kicking a 64-yard field goal. And then, you don't even let the kicker into that. I don't want your opinion, Ray Finkel. I don't care what you think you can hit it from. I'm making a decision as a coach and a quarterback what's best for the team right now. So how you get influenced by, I can hit a 64-yarder. No. I mean, it was just poorly managed.
The thing I don't understand too is, coaches usually can rely on their own experiences, but again, the bullets are flying. Seattle's just a weird spot. You feel like you're playing a game on the moon. Crazy things happen, and bullets are flying figuratively. Thank goodness. But Hackett was the OC in Lambeau Field, watching LaFleur take Rodgers off the field in an NFC Championship game for a field goal that didn't even really matter in terms of getting them closer than it was still a touchdown differential. And then the fallout of Rodgers saying, "Why don't you just let me do my thing?" This is Russ back in Seattle, game 1 for Denver after they make the big trade. I mean, I don't get it. I honestly don't get it.
Rich, I don't think anybody does. Nobody understands it, and it is one of those classic. Now, I will say this: everybody thinks they can call plays and manage a game, and it takes a certain guy a certain amount of humility to come to the realization that things speed up, and especially in Seattle with the crowd noise. I mean, you had 3 delay a game penalties. You were constantly up against the clock. I mean, the management of the game, it just speeds the game up. As a matter of fact, I did Philly at Detroit this week.
Amazing.
Talking to both Dan Campbell and Nick Sirianni. Both of them last season gave up play calling duties. And both of them said the same thing. I love the chess match. I love calling plays. But ultimately, I'm a better head coach managing the game when I don't have to do that. And Nick Sirianni was like, listen, man, I wanted to be more involved in specialties, more involved with the defense, more involved like dapping guys up and talking to guys and seeing what they think. And I couldn't do it as a play caller. And I just don't know. There are very few guys that have the capability to multitask like that and be good play callers. Something's got to give for most guys. Maybe Sean McVay can do it, but Sean McVay is not from the planet Earth. So I just don't know how many guys can really do that effectively.
Again, I know I was late to you because I had such a long open based on, and I didn't even hit on most of the things from Monday night. There were some positives, right? I mean, you take away even one of the turnovers on the goal line, and we're not even having this conversation today. What did you take out of the game from the top down, though, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, I look at it. I look at it offensively. You look at the Broncos. We've been in this barren wasteland, purgatory for the last 6 years. So 340 yards passing, over 400 yards total offense. And they weren't sharp. And I think it was the quarterbacks that did not take a snap in the preseason were 3-8 week 1. I know you don't want to. I know you don't want to beat guys up, but there is no way to be good at playing football unless you play football. And I know you try to simulate as close as you can in practice, but you know what it doesn't do? It doesn't simulate the games. They're different. And I don't know what the right number of plays is, but I know this. 0 is not the right number through preseason games. And there's a risk and reward. I get that. You don't have to beat the guys to a pulp, but they do need some timing. And you saw it. Russ is the best deep ball thrower in football. He wasn't close. I mean, he had the one to Jerry Jeudy, but he must have missed 3 or 4, and there was a couple that should have been picked.
What's your game this week? Where are you going this week, Mark? What do you got for me?
I'm going to San Francisco. I've got Seattle at San Fran.
How about that?
And it should be. I'm really looking forward to the Trey Lance experience, and the "I told you so" moment from Pete Carroll when he said, "Hey man, I want to go back to '90s football, and I can make it work," and everybody just kind of rolled their eyes. Well, guess what? They were pretty good last night, so it should be exciting.
I don't mean to correct you going out the door. It's San Francisco against first place Seattle. You gotta say that.
First place, yes, thank you. First place Seahawks. So
yeah,
it should be good, man.
You got the first place team standing alone in the NFC West. It's kind of crazy as Geno Smith tries to go 2-0. Thanks again for the time, Mark. I appreciate it. Let's do this longer. I'll be less long-winded. Or Nathaniel Hackett should just let Russ cook, and then we'll be on time next time.
Oh, maybe you should let Russ kick. How about that?
Hey, let Russ kick. Hashtag it. Write it out there, Chris. Thanks for the call, Mark. I appreciate it.
You got it. Take care.
It's Mark Schlereth, everybody.